Hey guys, Sandy here, and I am back today with the Follow a Sketch Friday, and this time I'm using the August 1st sketch from Stuck Sketches, and here it is so you can see it. It has two photos, and I am going to follow that part exactly at least and use these two photos from my sister's wedding. And then I went ahead and pulled a bunch of stuff from my stash. I have bits and pieces of some chipboard that I've had forever. I pulled out some thickers and some letter stickers. Got a bunch of scrap pieces of paper. I have the ephemera pack and the tags from the Sweet Nothings from Fancy Pants. I pulled out the My Story. I've been pulling a lot of different things off of this Brad pack. Oops, that color is definitely not in there. I also have some Heidi Swapp bling, and now this is old stuff here, 2006. So we're going to use that. And then I also have this piece of gray scrapbook walls paper from Chatterbox, and on the back is this sofa stripe, but this gray is fantastic. I'm actually running out of this gray. I think I'm going to have to take it to a store and find a cardstock that is similar in color, because this is my absolute favorite gray paper that I have. I also pulled out the Picket Fence Distress ink, and I'm going to be doing a little bit of stenciling on the page. So let's see what I can do.
So I matted both of my 4-inch square photos on black cardstock. And I've been finding that I'm doing that a lot lately. It really gives the photos like a pop, and they don't kind of like sink into the background. They're definitely more prevalent when you're looking at the page. So I also used that stencil and just randomly stenciled around where that photo mat collage is going to go. Of course, I didn't stencil the entire thing because that would have just been a waste of time and distress ink, because those photos are going to cover up so much. Now, I think I actually have to add a little bit more ink because I made that section a little too small. But I might have cut that out of the video. I'm not sure. I was talking to my husband while I was scrapbooking, and I did lots of just standing around while he was in the room with me. Now, I hope everything is sounding okay. I'm actually in my closet. My daughters and my husband are downstairs, and usually I can voice over with them in the other room, but they are super excited. We're getting ready to go to my son's graduation from Marine Boot Camp. So everybody's pumped up and excited about that. And actually, when this video goes live, probably not that exact moment, but we will be at his graduation while you're watching this video. Oh, there it is. I had to add a little bit more. Okay, so I've got the photo mat going on. I'm using the pinks and the blacks, and I'm also using just a touch of the yellow because that die cut pack that I have has the yellow in it. Now that yellow is ever so slightly darker than the yellows in the die cut pack, so what I did was just have like a teeny tiny little bit of it poking through, so you can only see like an ever so slight amount of the mat. It's maybe 1/8 of an inch thick. I mean, it is teeny. I can barely see it right now while I'm voicing over right here on the phone. Now this dotted paper doesn't make it. I love this dotted paper and I've used it on a bunch of layouts, but it just doesn't make it. When I flip it over, I'm like, whoa, no, that pink is totally wrong. So I quickly realized that and decide to use the dotted Swiss paper, which is sitting next to the layout. And I finally realized that that photo was a little bit crooked, so I just went ahead and fixed it. Now, I don't know if you can tell or not, but these are two different photos. They're not the same photo, just printed twice. Some of the facial expressions are a little bit different. Not that I have a problem with scrapbooking two of the same photos on a page, or even two of the same photos over and over again. I just wanted to point it out that they are two different photos in this layout. And see that little hunk of white right there? My ATG pulled off that beautiful gray off my Chatterbox paper. I was so sad. So this is why I put the paper to the side, because I knew that I was going to be doing that same thing. And I can see that the top pink paper is kind of crooked. Yep, and I notice it right there and decide to fix it. I feel like this layout was kind of clunky for me, and I think that probably was because my husband and I were so busy talking about so many different things. You know, anything, the stuff that goes on in the world, his job, my job. We have, like, you know, just everything that you talk about with your husband. That's what we talked about. We talked about, you know, our son and graduation and having him back home for a little while and all kinds of stuff. So we just, so much of that was going on that I don't know if this is my best work. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. But I opened up that tags and things die cut pack from Fancy Pants, and I really like that pink one with the polka dot, because to me at least that pink one looks like a lighter version of that dark pink, that matting. Now here the video might have jumped a little bit. There was so much dead space where I was just, like, you would see my hand moving around, but I was doing nothing. I think we were in a heated discussion at that moment. Not arguing or anything like that. We were just having a good time with each other. And, you know, so I had to cut it out. All right, what am I doing here? All right, so I'm layering up that tag because the sketch shows a tag and some paper, but I feel like the way I've done my photos, it's larger. My photos are like larger than what the sketch kind of shows, so I need it to build up a little bit there. And originally I was going to have those hearts peeking down at the bottom and figure out some way to have those flowers up at the top so I could have a triangle of white coloring around the photos. Because I figured, you know, when you have that triangle around the photos, it really points them out, and it didn't work. I changed my mind. I do like these flowers on here, and this little stamp, it's a die cut. It looks like a stamp, and it's really cute. Like, I really like it, and I'm definitely going to be using it on a layout. I moved that thing around so many times, so many places in that corner, and I wanted it on that page so badly. It just didn't happen. And those little rainbow strips that I'm playing with also came in the die cut pack. I thought I would put one at the bottom and then somewhere up at the top pull a piece of that up there too so that they could match up, but that didn't happen either. Like, I could see things like happening. Does that ever happen to you? If I could get out a clear, concise thought, that would probably be helpful too. All right, let's bring it down and get everything calm again because I can feel myself getting excited and heated. Okay, here we go, guys. Does this ever happen to you? You see something in your mind's eye. Like, you pull out all the supplies. You can see, like, how it's going to turn out and how it's going to look and what you're going to use. And then when you actually go to scrapbook the layout, you either don't use half the stuff, have to go get other stuff, or it just doesn't come together the way you're picturing it in your mind. Like, the vision is there, but the execution is not. And that is totally what happened with that stamp with the hearts on it. I could see it. I could see that great, like, postage stamp edge and the texture of it against all those straight lines of all the matting, but it just would not work for me. Like, I couldn't get it going. So now I'm going to work on the title a little bit, and I have to skinny that down because I'm like, whoa, that is some thick paper, and my photo mat area is already huge and might not even be able to get a title on here if I'm going to be blah, blah, blah. English. I can speak it. I promise. Okay. Now I've totally forgotten what I've said. Guys, this video is all over the place. And this is like the third time I've tried doing it. The third voiceover I've tried to do. And it's all coming out the same. I've got so much excitement in my soul right now. And I'm ready to go. And still have to finish packing. Like, it's just... all that is going on inside me. So I'm sorry that this narration is like all over the place. Okay, so I thinned down those papers for where the title's going to go. And I mean, it's not a creative title. It says my family. I mean, that is my family. It's my brother and his wife and their 2 sons and my daughters. My husband and son couldn't get off of work to take a long weekend or a long week and weekend trip back to Maryland. So that's why they aren't in there. But even though they're not in there, it's still my family, and I love them very much. So I'm titling it My Family because that's what it is. I wish I came up with something more creative, but that's what happened. So I used those 2 little letter stickers, and I went ahead and used the capital letters because I find myself when I'm using tile letter stickers, I find that I go for the lowercase. Like, that's my go-to, is the lowercase for those letter stickers. And hooray, pulled out these little Heidi Swap gems, and holy moly, I didn't realize they were from 2006. When I was doing the Use Your Stash Challenge a couple months ago, I had these Around the Block metal brats, and they were from 2006. And I thought that they were my oldest embellishment, and I used just about all of them. I think I still have 2 left. I had no idea that I had gems that were just as old. Like, I had no idea that that Heidi Swap bling was still in there, and it was that old. Like, I remember buying it, and it doesn't seem like it was 11 years ago. So, anyway, had to get that stuff going, too. So, none of this stuff is stuck down yet. I'm just placing it. Like, the flowers aren't stuck down, the tags hanging out the side aren't, the banner isn't, and none of the die cuts are. Because I'm thinking that this needs a little bit more oomph. It needs something more than it just being paper. So what I'm going to do is turn off the camera and do one of my favorite things, which is clear emboss, and use a Spectrum Noir glitter pen to liven up some of these paper die cuts. And that stamp is still there, but it's not going to stay. Oh, I'm not there yet. I thought I was there. I actually had to go over and get some of those chipboard word phrases. They come from Freckle Fawn, and I use them a lot, and I really like them. For one thing, they're a chipboard, so they're thicker, so they stand up off the page. So if you need a little bit of lift somewhere, they're perfect. However, if they're too high, they're a nice, like, layered chipboard where you can peel off a hunk of them. So you could like do them half height or full height, or even sometimes I just pull all the chipboard and it's just that colored piece at the top, so it's more like a sticker. So I'm just finagling around with these die cuts, and I know I want the red, the pink, and the yellow at the bottom. And I know I want it in each corner, like that corner where the flowers are, and then that upper corner where that stamp is. And I think that that's why I was so dead set on using that stamp, because it had the yellow in it. And then I found that circle. And I thought that the circle was great because it mimicked the flowers and also the circle pieces of the tag and stuff hanging out the side of the photo. So I thought that that was great. And then I just added the little together die cut down there on the bottom. And I thought I needed to add another chipboard word phrase because I had it in one place. So, you know, if I have it in one, I want it in 2. And this is where I'm back. I had turned off the camera and I had gone over to my other desk and embossed. I embossed the happy, circle up there over the photos. I embossed a couple of the banners. I embossed the centers of the flowers, and I embossed the heart at the bottom. And I also used my glitter pen on the flowers, on the other parts of the banners that I didn't heat emboss, that red tag thing sticking up next to the happy. And I also glitterized the word together down at the bottom. So I've got the embossed and the glitter in all 3 spots, which makes me happy. Well, 4, because the banner is just kind of there. I don't really look at that as like a cluster. And then while I was doing that, I felt like all this heaviness was on the top of this great gray paper, and it was kind of almost floating there. So I decided to cut off a 1/2 inch on 2 sides of it and mat it on some black cardstock. And that also sturdies it up because those paper layers, even though they're scraps, are kind of heavy. So it was kind of like pulling it, it was flimsy, and I didn't want it to be flimsy. So I had grabbed some silver sequins. Now the die cut pack had paper sequins in it, and I thought about embossing them or putting some what is that stuff called? That Ranger stuff that you put on top and makes it shiny? Glossy accents. I thought that I would do some glossy accents. But then I realized I had like glitter. I had Spectrum Nord, a bunch of stuff. And then I had that silver glitter band over there where the flowers are. And I was like, I need some more silver on this page. I definitely need to do more silver because most of the time I go for gold. And it's true. Most of the time we do go for gold. But I love a good silver. So I added some sequins. And these are just like cheap little craft sequins. And I used my Mono Multi adhesive to put those on. And then I also had taken those Heidi Swap gems and placed a couple more around the page. I just thought they were from 2006. They're 11 years old. I've never used one. Like, what is wrong with me? I need to get going. So I just added some more flowers, like on that happy, and then there's one on the banner, and then there's one on the bottom too on the hearts. So I'm like there. I'm about to journal, and I'm like, no, I'm not journaling on this page. I've journaled on just about all the other pages, and it's just a photo of us at the wedding, and you're going to know it's us at the wedding because it's in the middle of all the wedding pages. All right, guys, thanks so much for joining me for this Follow a Sketch Friday, and also thanks for listening to my rambling about my excitement. All right, talk to you guys later. Bye.